intelligence. So I think if we actually use that as more of the term, is how do you take AI to augment intelligence of communities? That will start to remove, I think, the fear and the stigma of it. And then the other part is also how do we make it normal? Because gaming was bad. I was one of those kids. My mother was like, "Oh my God, what are you doing? You know, you're still online." But look at where it led me to 30 years later, right? It's hard for people to see that. So I think programs like Delete the Divide and all that can really also help have parents understand that we need to do this as an augmented intelligence exercise. It's basically training the new way to use digital assets for accelerating learning or for accelerating creation in our kids and in our children. My daughter's a junior, she's a rising senior. So I think we need more help from government and partnerships so that they understand that this is for the entire community, all ages, not just because it's kids. It should be upskilling and reskilling of adults as well.
I can also help to speak to that as well. I would say as Black women, we need to also create spaces for each other to be able to share, unpack the different experiences that we're having. So I'm part of a group called Sisters for Digital Equity, and it has been by far the best social group that I've joined. So it's literally other women that are the first digital equity leaders, whether it's at the federal government level, state level, county and local government as well. And we meet bi-weekly and just unpack some of those key issues that we're experiencing, but also share best practices on how we can create spaces that support us and that work for us as well. A lot of this work obviously intersects with racial equity. We have to deal with a lot of microaggressions, especially with being the first in our fields. And so that space has really empowered me to speak up and to know that my sisters are right behind me, encouraging me the entire way and ensuring that I feel supported in the work that I'm doing. So definitely find other people that are doing similar efforts. I'm happy to support you as a sister as well, so feel free to reach out and let's definitely connect.
All right, we're gonna have our last question right here.
I'll try to be very quick. Hi, I'm retired Judge Songhai Armstead. I'm the director of the newest department in LA County, Justice Care and Opportunities Department. And what I'm really interested in is sort of our body of work deals with returning citizens, it deals with prevention, it deals with diversion for those who are justice impacted and their families. And I see this as a tool, but we deal with people who come back, they've been locked up for a number of years. We want them to reduce recidivism by keeping them engaged, by helping them to be employable, by all of these different avenues. And I'm thinking, are there multiple ways that AI can help? They come out, they don't even know how to turn a cell phone, they didn't have cell phones when they went in, they don't know the internet, they don't know all of these things, and they see it as hurdles, you know, in a lot of different ways when we're teaching people trades, but to me this is another, it could be a tool, and I'm wondering if you guys can speak to sort of that issue at all.
So yeah, I can tackle so it's interesting, we actually have an educational grant and system in place, and by we I mean Google proper, with the Department of Corrections in Oklahoma City, right? So we've actually paired up with them specifically targeting female prisons to start running those types of educational programs that are kind of that, for the lack of a better term, like almost repatriation, right? Like here is coming back to the real world for you. Where I think I get a little bit cringy when we focus on AI specifically as that singular tool to be able to bridge the divide, because the reality is this is a people problem just as much as it is a technology problem. And so me as a technologist, I look at the technology as one of the many different tools to help these women and other inmates that are coming back and coming back into the community. It's one of many different things that they can start to learn and use to bridge that divide. The ability to have, and this is kind of the danger, but also the beauty of that Google search bar, right? Those endless possibilities behind just asking a question and getting answers. I think that's where AI powered with search together are really going to be powerful tools for these individuals to basically come back to life. Ask basic questions like, You know, hey, when I was incarcerated, it was COVID, and now do I have to wear a mask in X, Y, or Z store, right? Understanding that a lot of those answers may or may not be 100% true 100% of the time, right? So that level of education and curiosity needs to be instilled. And to kind of go back to the previous question, what I have noticed in the tech field is there are kind of like two types of humans in the tech field. There are people that are doing tech, and this is also similar in the Army, people who are doing tech because everyone's doing tech and everyone's yelling about it, and apparently there are high-paying jobs somewhere, right? And then there are people doing tech because they are truly curious about the intersection of this new plane of existence that has now overlaid what reality, what real day-to-day life looks like. Sparking that creative spark in your kid who's here today, which is fantastic. I have a 2.5-year-old myself, is the least we owe as parents. Be fearless, especially in the area of technology where people are so ready to stomp on each other to try to either show that they are the knowledge expert in a given, it can be intimidating, right? Code is intimidating to a lot of people. That needs to go away. That oppression and that intimidation needs to go away, because the moment women and young girls start understanding the basics of Python, they go, oh my gosh, right? This is just patterns with language and math, right? So that's kind of my really long answer around the question that
But to get back to you, we'd be happy to share what we did with the Department of Corrections in Oklahoma as a framework and see if you could apply that here in LA.
Wow, that's fantastic. It's official, okay? I have 3 girl crushes that are brand new. My goodness. Thank you all so much for your insights. Fantastic. I'm here cheering you on, and we are all cheering you on, and we're all going to be emailing questions after this, I'm sure. Let's move on to the next part of our of the show.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a probably 5-minute break. So ask everyone to, if you get up, be back in your seat in 5 minutes. We're just gonna adjust the stage real quick, and then we'll introduce our next speaker.